soccer team or taking swim lessons or traveling out of state to visit colleges or paying for expensive SAT prep.
The public schools in New York City just do not provide enough academic support, opportunities, and enrichment for the public school students.
There's no outlet for them. You know, sometimes they don't even have like a schoolyard to have gym in. Gym might be in the cafeteria. Gym might be in a gymnasium that is half the size of a regular gym.
Many of the kids who join our program, they've had a bad experience in the public schools. They are not that interested in learning or their academic experience. And many of them also have never tried sports or have very limited experience in sports.
Some good things in all the crews.
It just never felt okay to me that there were the haves and the have-nots. For young people, they should all have the same access to great teachers, to great after-school programs, and that shouldn't just be dictated by, do mom and dad have enough money to pay for that?
Square on the plate just a fraction of a second earlier.
I think Row New York is the perfect marriage to that desire to level the playing field a little bit for kids who would otherwise never be rowing.
Down to the gunnel.
You know, people ask, well, why rowing? You know, what is it about rowing? Could it also be soccer? Could it also be making a school play? And absolutely, it could be those things. I think rowing, you know, it's called the ultimate team sport for a reason.
I've seen, you know, like one stroke out of 20, you guys getting in the water at the same time and exiting the water at the same time. But the goal in rowing is to make that, you know, one out of every other time.
They always say there are no stars in the boat because you're all in that boat together.
Ready, up!
In rowing, everything is technique. So everybody has to do everything at the same time.
Shoulders, ready, split! Walking forward.
It teaches patience, teamwork, dedication, commitment, all those sort of things. Respect are things that we really work through.
5 minutes no splits, 5 minutes stretch, 3 minutes light.
And then they learn a lot about what they're capable of. I think very often we're reluctant to push kids or young people into a place where they are uncomfortable or where something seems hard. I think it's a great thing to push people into a spot where they're uncomfortable, as long as they have the support.
You're tired, you're hungry, you have like all these things going on, but you kind of have to focus. You have to get this technique right. Do this over and over and over again until you get it right. Understanding that having to endure is going to help you later on.
I like showing off my blisters a lot. That shows like my hard work.
It shows us the strength that we think we don't have, but we actually do have.
The girls learn how to be good teammates and good people. I'm Jenny, and I am the Director of Programs and Operations.
When we're estimating,
a piece of Row New York is academics. As you progress through rowing, you learn to go faster, then you learn to study better and do better on tests.
My name is Nick. I'm the Director of Academics for Row New York. I think at Row New York, it's unique that we have the time to work with them physically, you know, make them stronger athletes, and then just kind of, again, tie into the academic programming.
Okay. They'll have tutors come in and they'll help you with writing, math, and what else?
Language arts.
And language arts.
We have a really strong college prep program, so they help us study for our SATs, they help us apply to college, they help us build resumes.
They showed us a school plan.
We want to make sure all the athletes are prepared academically to ensure that they're going to do well in high school and then go on to a great college and do well in college.
That's the limit.
To become a part of Row New York, they try out for the team.
We never wanted to just be the program that gets kids who wouldn't otherwise be rowing on the water. That's a disservice to everybody, I think. We expect our kids to train and compete at the same level as you know, the kids that they're competing against.
So you get on a rowing machine and we see how long your stroke would be. We teach you how to row in about 5 minutes. You race yourself, you race the people at the tryout.
We're 2-3 team, available every day.
Based on that and your potential, we take you on the team.
So this is Kate. I'm calling from Row New York.
Hi.
How are you?
Good.
Good. I'm calling to let you know that you made the rowing team.
Yay! I made it.
Yeah, you made the team.
Really?
Yeah.
Congratulations, you made the team.
Oh, thank you.
She's excited.
So we are up early this morning to go to the Manhattan Boathouse to row, which is something I don't do very often, which is sort of ironic. We're entering a staff 4 of women into the Women's Club 4 event at the head of the Charles. I'm barely awake. With rowing, I'm pretty competitive, and it's much more enjoyable to be in a boat with people who really know how to row well. And these women are awesome. I mean, they're definitely younger and more fit than I am. Oh shoot, did I just go the wrong way? Oh no, I did. This is a common image. Me lost in different neighborhoods in New York City driving around. New Yorkers are kind of known for not knowing how to drive. It just has such a huge public transportation system, so you really can get away with not driving. It would be hard to get away with doing what I do at Row New York and not driving. Shoulder like this.
Split the shoulders, split.
The Head of the Charles is the largest regatta, I think, in the world. Sorry. It's a 2-day regatta on the Charles River in Boston every fall. There's thousands of rowers there. The banks of the Charles River on both sides, and all the bridges are lined with thousands and thousands of people. We're going to be sending some kids to race in it from Row New York, and then 4 of us from the staff will be racing in it too.
Don't forget the old lady in the phone. I'd be like, oh, slow it down, bro.
I asked myself, like, why am I doing the Head of the Charles? Amanda, why did you say you would do this? You don't have time for this. You don't have energy for this. I'm doing it the same reason that our girls row, like the same reason that people join Row New York. It's fun, it's different. I get to be with cool, strong women. I get to be on the river and race and make a boat go fast. I was a rower in college. I worked for a program called Girls Row Boston. The idea behind that program was to bring rowing to girls from inner city neighborhoods in Boston who wouldn't otherwise have access to the sport. I loved the program. I loved the girls. I found myself so invested in being their coach and their mentor. When I was finished with graduate school, I knew I was coming back to New York, but I didn't know what I was going to do when I came back to New York. You know, I had a job that I loved in Boston. I wish that the city and the job were combined somehow. I was sort of talking to my husband, who was my boyfriend at the time. You know, I was lamenting the fact that I wouldn't be able to be a part of Girls Row Boston anymore because I loved that program so much. And he said, you should start the same thing here in New York City. I remember very clearly saying, that's insane. That might be the worst idea anyone's ever had. And I just remember looking around, we were right in the middle of the heart of the city, and I'm like, can you even picture like a boat on a trailer coming through the city? Like how would I do that? You know, I remember saying, you should start a skiing program in Florida. Like that was sort of my comeback, and I don't want to start this program, I don't want to run this program, I want to work at this program. I miss you, babe. You know, he said, and I should preface this with that Mike is a total feminist and such a wonderful man, and he said, you know, that's where women need to push themselves.
And
can't wait to hear your version of this.
Well, my memory's not as good as yours.
No, it's not, so let's see.
Goad her into doing it by basically describing that not enough women are willing to stand up to do these things. I definitely knew that would push her buttons, yeah.
Mike knows me very well, so he sort of knows how to push me, but he's honest, and while I'm arguing with him about that this is such a terrible idea and impossible, in the very back of my mind I'm thinking, that would be really cool though, you know, but of course you don't say that when you're arguing with your boyfriend or girlfriend or whoever you're in a relationship with, or at least I don't, maybe some people do.
I think Amanda did not want to be in charge. And I think she still doesn't always want to be in charge because it is more fun to just be out being a coach. No, I'm just saying at times, like even now, like it'd be so nice to be. I don't mean like you don't can't handle it.
That's where the first sort of seed was planted, and then I said, I think I'm gonna do this. I think I'm gonna start this program in New York City. And I remember I literally wrote out on this big piece of paper, like, everything that would need to be done in order to start this rowing organization. And some of the things were so enormous, and it was kind of funny because, like, buy manila folders would take up one line, but so did, like, find a rowing location, find out how to become a nonprofit, because I didn't know how to do that. We were gonna start out on Meadow Lake in Queens, but we didn't have any equipment. We had $50. Literally, we had $50. So I called my college coach and he said, Amanda, of course I'll help. So he showed up with 2 boats for our pilot program. Okay. Every morning, I would get up at like 5:30. I'd run to the parking lot, which would take like 25 minutes. Then I would drive to the Upper East Side. I'd pick up our volunteer, drive to the YMCA out in Queens, get the van, and then I would drive 30 minutes north, pick up the girls for the pilot program, and then we would drive 30 minutes south to get to the lake. So it was about 5 hours a day of driving and running. No one said this was going to be fun or easy, so that's fine. You know, we really slowly but surely built up the funding that fall, and then we launched the after-school program, you know, with the rowing and the academics in that spring of 2003. Now, it's just this incredible feeling of, wow, we did this. We got kids on the water in New York City, and it was successful.
We're at the Peter J. Sharp Boathouse in Manhattan on the Harlem River. It's the first day of novice practice, so they're gonna, all the new kids are showing up. They're gonna see the boathouse, we're gonna have some team meetings, and they're all gonna get to know each other, see what we're gonna do this year. And then we're gonna meet out on the porch, okay? That's gonna be our daily routine.
We just started our program in Manhattan, and we added over 80 kids to our team. So we very quickly had to ramp up our programs, hire new staff, and raise the money to buy a boathouse full of equipment.
This is our first day of Row New York in Manhattan. It's our first novice class. First time we've ever had boys at Row New York.
Yeah, boys. Row New York's been just girls for just over 9 years. And when we knew 4 years ago that we would be moving in the direction of expanding into Manhattan, we didn't think that it made sense to be the only rowing organization in a city of almost 9 million people and not offer a boys program.
Yeah, for them to share this great experience, because it was the best decision of my life, and it's really great that they get to like experience the same happiness that rowing brings them that I did.
Well, I'm really glad they opened the boathouse for boys. It gives everyone a chance to get on the water and show what they got.
They never had boys in this before.
I feel like there's gonna be competition just because of that. So yeah, I'm gonna give it the hardest that I got.
Are you guys worried about these girls showing you up?
Yeah.
No.
Why not? Some of these girls are pretty tough.
Really?
So we started with 9 rowers the summer of 2002, and now we have close to 3,000 people will come through the program this year. The numbers that mean sort of the most to us are that we have about 110 kids rowing out of this boathouse every afternoon and about 110 rowing out of the Manhattan boathouse. So around 220 kids every afternoon. And with academics, we're doing really well.
Energy is emitted. What form does that energy take?
The average high school graduation rate in New York City is 60%, far below what we have at Row New York.
100% of our participants have graduated from high school, and 98% have gone on to college.
Rowing really pushed me to get good grades, to study really hard. I had SAT prep, free SAT prep, which is a big deal because SAT prep is really expensive. My acceptance to Barnard was a big deal to my family. I'm the first to go to like a big private institution. Barnard is ranked amongst the best women's colleges in the country. The academics here are rigorous, and that is made known to you. Without Roe, New York, I would not be at this prestigious of a college. It just made me a better person. It made me able to kind of persist and understand that, you know, you have to work hard.
It helps me think, like, don't give up on yourself, because if you do, you're gonna end up hurting more people than you think. If I give up in school, I'm gonna end up hurting, like, my parents. Like, they want to see me successful, and I want to be successful. I do want to go to college. A lot of people in my family don't go to college, and it's been hard because we don't really have a lot of money. Like, we haven't been benefited like that. So with Roe, New York, it's gonna help me get an education and help my family and, like, give them things that they need and what I want.
I thought I was just gonna be stuck here, go to maybe like a community college, because I really didn't think higher of myself. I kind of had low self-esteem. Rowing definitely boosted up my confidence and made me strive for higher grades.
Well, my role in rowing is being a coxswain, and you're supposed to be a loud, like leadership role, very large leadership role on the girls. And when I came in, I was not that leader. I was very shy, I was very quiet. Being on the team with so many girls, and especially in a boat where they depend on you, you get to gain that role, and I think it helped me develop into the person I am now.
Once they learn these lessons about teamwork and working hard and delaying gratification and getting through discomfort, it's just this incredible gift that could never be taken away. We're developing young women who are going to be great leaders, and I think they're going to turn around and affect change in this community and this society as a result of how much they were pushed while they were at Roe, New York. These boats have a lot of lessons to teach.
We have a lot of interesting senses of humor on the crew.
Eddie can do just about any accents.
I do a few, just a few of them. Which one would you like?
Black Beauty to Silver Bullet.
Yeah, go ahead. You got the Silver Bullet.
Code names. It's very important to have.
I think the chemistry between the crew helps us when we go in to do an interview.
We've got great people on this team, and it makes the show what it is.
TV show writers typically have 1 to 2 weeks to prepare the first draft of a script. It even took me 2 weeks to finish the script for the segment that you're watching right now. But for one of its shows, BYU TV decided to take a little bit of a different approach.
Is there anything you require of me?
You've constructed this on your own?
I have, my lord.
It's a listening device, you say?
Yes, I didn't say that, but I'm glad you've assumed as much.
I did. I'm very, very assumptive.
BYU TV's Show-Offs has no script. For the performers and crew, creating is all about making it up as you go along.
What'd you say? Rap? I heard rap. Okay.
A couple of times.
Gotta be rap.
Show-Offs is all about improv comedy, building an entertaining story from beginning to end.
They're creating an entire show from the top of their head, from audience suggestions and stuff. It's a different show every time, all these different genres. But you get this full, meaty show with singing and dancing and just made up on the spot.
Show-Off starts each improv with a basic theme and a title suggestion from the audience. Then the performers build on each other to create a one-of-a-kind play or musical.
He made an entire mess of Mexican food.
Guacamole. It's completely off the rails. It's off the cuff, and everybody's making up every single line in the entire show. Nothing's ever, you can't script stuff like this. If you did, it comes off stale or fake. It has to be authentic.
There are no do-overs once the story starts unfolding. Only the host has the power to adjust things.
My favorite part about hosting is messing around with the cast and in the middle of the scene stopping it and giving them something that makes them laugh and makes the audience laugh, just thinking about it, and then they knock it out of the park.
Pause for a second, pause. They can't figure out a way to get them, so that we need a way to get them. What kind of dancing could stop these? We yell out a few different ones. What did you say?
The floss.
Tapping? Tapping, tap dance. You're gonna have to tap dance to stop these monsters. Here we go.
Show-Offs builds on the clean comedy tradition Studio C started on BYU TV. These entertainers bring a spur-of-the-moment touch to their considerable acting, singing, and dancing abilities. And viewers of all ages experience a memorable performance that can never be recreated. If you've caught the improv bug, try it out at home. There are hundreds of easy-to-learn and play improv games. And you'll find all the inspiration you need if you stick with us right here on BYU TV for improv fun on Show-Offs. Thanks for watching BYU TV Insider.
This is Nicole Campbell. She is my wife.
This is my husband, Raymond Campbell. He's my best friend, my bodyguard. He's a great friend to everybody. He's an excellent dad. Excellent dad. He's just all around awesome. Pay me later.
My whole life is about, am I good enough? No matter how hard I work, I feel like I haven't worked hard enough. The story that I know is that I have an older brother who I believe is 18 months older than me or something, and my biological father was okay with my older brother, but when I came along, I became the straw that broke the camel's back. He was like, no, I'm leaving, I'm out. I didn't sign up for two. And my biological mother decided that I was too much to bear for whatever that reason was, and she gave me up for adoption 3 weeks after I was born. That's one of those pains where you bottle it up and you don't let it bother you anymore. but in your quiet moments, you just break down and cry. I never want anybody to give up on me again, like ever, never. And the reality is somebody's always gonna give up. So I need the person who gave up to tell me I'm all right. Or tell me that I'm not all right. But just tell me something. To whom this may concern, biological mother, father, something. Can you just tell me that I'm good enough?